Jameis Winston still threw for 5 touchdowns in the Saints' 38-3 blowout win over the Packers. This was Winston's first career start for New Orleans as the team looks to still contend for a Super Bowl in their first year without future Hall of Famer Drew Brees under center. So, Shannon, can Sean Payton win with Jameis as successfully as he did with Drew Brees?
I'm not willing to go that far just yet, Skip. But I do believe he provides something different than what Drew provided over the last several years. Drew clearly didn't have the arm strength to throw the ball over people's heads consistently as Jameis can. He let you see that. It was on full display at the 55-yard touchdown. That's something Drew couldn't do towards the tail end of his career, Skip. And it's not so much, Jenny mentioned the 148 yards and the 5 touchdowns. That's good. What got Jameis in trouble was the 380 yards with the 3 interceptions and 2 touchdowns. It was the big statistical day, Skip, marred by the turnovers. Here, he didn't have a great statistic as far as throwing the football. The touchdowns you can live with. Skip, you throw for 5,000 yards, clearly you can throw the football. There haven't been very many of those in the history of the NFL.
Agreed.
Now, they might be an uptick now that you get the extra game.
Maybe.
But in the 16-game schedule, there hadn't been very many of them. Jameis Winston can say, I'm one of the few guys, handful of guys, that's thrown for 5,000 yards. We know he can do that. But what got him in trouble was he would throw for 300-400 yards, and then he would throw 3-4 picks in there, and it would just, well, damn, Jameis, yeah, you threw for 300, but you basically gifted them the game by turning the ball over.
Yep.
This is what he has to do. Now, Skip, I'm not saying that he has to tamper it down because I don't believe he's going to throw for 5 touchdowns and 148. He's going to have to be above the 250. He's going to have a couple of 300-yard games in there, which I believe he can do. But what he cannot do is put the ball in harm's way. That's what got him up out of Tampa. That's what it was, the interceptions, the turnovers. You can't turn the ball over in this league. This is not Florida State. This is not where you're just so much more talented than everybody else that you can turn the ball over and overcome it. Not in this league.
Yep.
Even the best teams, you turn it over, you get beat to inferior teams. That's why coaches, they harp on that. Protect the football. But I like what I saw, Skip. Sean Payton can call plays. I think Sean Payton is very pleased with his decision that I named Jameis Winston the starter.
Agreed.
And it's, you know what? At least for a week, because this is the way coaches think. Skip, they only think in week increments. They don't think that at all. For this week, I was proven right.
Yeah. Yesterday, to me, gave me pause because I sat back at the end of that blowout beatdown, and I thought, does Sean Payton actually deserve more credit for Drew Brees than we ever gave him credit for? And I realized it's one game.
Right.
But, man, for Jameis, it was the game.
Yeah.
I couldn't recognize Jameis because the guy I saw at Tampa was not that guy.
Right.
All of a sudden, he was in the palm of Sean Payton's hand with the play calls because he is, I mean, he's probably the best in the league. It's hard to gauge it from week to week.
Kyle Shanahan and Sean McVay.
Yeah, they're up there. I got it. But this guy is just genius level at the passing game. Kyle's more of a run game caller where they just get you on your heels and they just run you off the field. But man, this guy, you can already see how he's putting Jameis in positions to do to bring the very best out of Jameis. What do we see at Florida State? We saw Jameis involved in this incident and that incident. So his personality is, whoops, I got in that. Whoops, I did that. Whoops, I got in that one. But what did he do? They won the national championship.
Correct.
He is a winner. He's a leader, but he's immature, and he got involved in too many things off the field, but I still supported him to be the first overall pick. Right. And at Tampa, he flashed greatness. Yeah. I mean greatness, because if you go over 30 and over 30, I'm talking about touchdowns, interceptions.
Yeah, Rookie of the Year. He made a Pro Bowl, made a couple of Pro Bowls.
Hey, you see it. And Sean Payton, because he's in love with Taysom Hill, because he took him off the scrap heap out of Green Bay.
Taysom Hill can't do what this kid
No, he can't. He cannot do it. But you can still use Taysom. Because Jameis has no cachet, so he can't really argue. Like, you really want to put him in now?
Yeah, like that 12 yard. Drew Brees ain't picking that up.
No. Okay, I got it. But it was the very best of Jameis yesterday, and I was highly impressed with those. If we could just quickly see the touchdown throws, they're just Well, they're Drew Brees-like.
Yeah.
Because they're Drew Brees plays. And
Alvin Kamara was Alvin Kamara.
Okay. You knew that was coming. And then that'll work. And then this will work to Chris Hogan. He's back.
He's back.
7-11, always open. And then Jawan, another one.
Look at this.
And then this is the bomb, which you're right. And yet you realize that was a 55-yard pass early in the fourth quarter that barely put Jameis Winston over 100 yards passing.
Yeah.
But he went 4 for 4 in the red zone. Okay? That's how you win football games. He turned it over 0 times.
Yes. Yes. Okay. The problem was, Skip, the turnovers. Like I said, he'd have these huge days, Skip. He'd throw it for 300, 400 yards, but he's got 3 turnovers. He's got 3 picks with a fumble. Yep. Where you're losing the game, he's like, well, damn, Jameis would have really played well if he cleaned up the turnovers. Yep. Well, that's what Sean Payton said. So but he's always been a turnover machine, Skip. Yes. You go back to college, Jameis Winston turned the ball over a bunch.
Okay, it's part of his nature.
Yes.
I'm going to try this.
And then he went to he had the perfect coach because what is it? On the side of the championship, no risk it, no biscuit. But that's not the way Brady. Brady's like, hey, I'm willing to risk it some, but I ain't trying to eat biscuits all the time. You know, I'm good. We're not throwing Hail Marys 5 times a game, Bruce.
So it'll be very fascinating to watch if the new Jameis lasts under Sean Payton.
I think he will.
Okay.
Because the thing is, Skip, he understands. He's checking the landscape. There's not a place for a guy that turns the ball over, and because he sees Cam, he's like, well, damn, Cam ain't even got a job.
That's a fact.
So let me change.
Yeah. Okay. Well, one QB we still haven't. And the Steelers scored 17 in the fourth quarter to secure a 23-16 win. And afterward, Roethlisberger said, quote, I'm proud of the guys because they didn't blink. They stood up in the face of not playing well early. And Skip, you know, you've been big on Pittsburgh as a playoff team all offseason. So, Shannon, are you ready to buy into the Steelers as a playoff team after that?
Big N. Long O. No. The Buffalo gagged this one off. Yeah, they did. And that's a tough place to play. Mind you, now Buffalo has something to play for. They've gotten better over the last couple of years. That place started to rocking. But Skip, look. You can't. The Bills outgained about 119 yards, ran 24 more plays, had 5 more minutes time of possession. Why in the hell would you let Josh Allen throw the ball 51 times? When you're running, you're getting 6.5 yards a clip, and you ask him to drop back and throw it 51 times against that. The one thing the Steelers pride themselves on in doing is being able to get after your quarterback. Did they not see T.J. Watt? He was there. I know maybe they didn't get the memo. Maybe they got snail mail, and they missed the part that he signed a contract extension, and he's going to be there because it's like, we just going to drop back and throw it to pass. And I'm like, and I could tell because the opening kickoff, they run it back to the 25-yard line, Skip, and they go throw. I'm like, what the hell? You ain't going to try to throw, like, you ain't going to try to run one pass? It seems to me, Skip, Josh Allen is the MVP favorite. Well, we're going to let him get 400 on opening day, and the thing going to look really good. Josh Allen throws a NFL MVP front runner. Josh Allen throws for 400 on opening day. Steelers say, no, you're not. This, Skip, I'm going to give the Steelers credit. They hung around. They went 5 straight punts to start the game. When you could have, like, put the game out of reach by running the football, you let them hang around because you throw, and you going up out of the game, and then you let T.J. Watt take the game over by taking the ball away. This was a lot more about what Buffalo didn't do, as opposed to what the Steelers did do. Give them credit. They hung around, and Ben talked about this. We didn't blink. The crowd was in the game, Skip. They got out, 10-0, and they said, you know what? We're still here. It should be 17-0. Maybe it should be 20-0. But we're still in this ball game. So, hey, let's stay. And the next thing you know, you look up. Now you're like, well, what happened? Well, you let Josh Allen throw the ball 51 times against that defense. He turned it over. You gave up a punt block. And I'm like, how you give up a punt block in that situation, guys? And everybody look at